Alright. Oh shit, I gotta tell Discord. So, hello, VOD people. Today I'm going to be finishing up with the Swallows Fly projects. We're just going to put everything you need to run this adventure in a Google Doc, and then that's the Google Doc that I'm going to be submitting for this big project that we're doing with a bunch of other D&D creators. Hello, Clancy. Welcome back. And I'm going to be doing all of this live while there is a tropical storm happening in Southern California and Mexico. This is the first tropical storm we've seen in 80 years. And so, what better way to celebrate than to do some chill D&D prep as the streets are being flooded with 3-inch high water. Because that is about as much water we see in a year. Let's see what I had. I'm looking over the old notes. We had the starting town, which is Rosdorf, with our corrupt Mayor Clancy. Switching back and forth between the tabs to figure out, just get everything down, really. Are you going to be making a video on this? Yeah, there's going to be a video about all of this, currently editing the footage from the last stream. And also I recorded a video of me just coming up with this idea, just coming up with the thought, and so all that put together is going to be in a video. It's a video with like 3 other online creators. Gotta think about what I'm going to call the adventure. What's the adventure going to be called? Call the adventure something like what's the name of the adventure? I don't know. Nameless, awesome adventure for cool people. Dabs. We got Hillary Clinton in the thumbnail. It only makes sense that we have a dabbing reference. Let's see. So we have the starting town. We got a corrupt mayor. And then we got a bird cult. And then we're going to have the mountains. That's where we have a couple of puzzles where you're supposed to jump into the lake. Another one where you're supposed to dodge out the way of flying boulders. And then we have the actual dungeon. This might be a little more than just a one-shot, but I feel like all one-shots become more than just a one-shot. Then inside the mountains, we're going to have that final battle. Gotta check it all out. This stream, we're done coming up with new ideas. We are finished with brainstorming. We're just taking everything we have and synthesizing it into something that is workable, an actual product that I could hand to any DM and they could just run it just by being able to read the PDF. So that's what we're going for today. It's going to be chill. We get the synth wave. Let me know if you want me to turn the music up. But this is the stream. It's a rainy day outside. It's very rainy outside. So I'm in a cozy mood. And we're going to be cozy and it's going to be great. And you guys can ask questions in the chat. And I'll answer questions if you have any. It will be a great time. We're going to have a great time. Let's get into it. Are you still doing the sidekick thing? I don't know. I'm still thinking about whether or not I want to do a sidekick thing. Because I think it's a great idea. And I would love to actually run that at some point. But I also intend on this being a genuinely modular adventure that you could put into any campaign. I would love for this adventure to be something that you can pick up, like Tales of the Yawning Portal, or Keys from the Golden Bolt, just like some miscellaneous adventures that you can just toss into whatever you're running. So I think for now, I'm going to write it up as if we're not doing the sidekick thing. And then before we finalize it, we'll come up with our final answer of whether or not we want to do sidekicks. All right. I really wanted to include like a live feed of the tropical storm in like the bottom right corner or something, or bottom left corner. I couldn't find any good trackers that didn't have like, news anchors talking about it, because it's really not that big of a storm. It's really fine. It's not even a hurricane. It's just crazy because it never happens in California. And that's the crazy part about it. Starting town of Rosdorf. Let's give a description. What is the starting town looking like? What's the starting town? What is Rosdorf all about? I think it's nearby the mountains. I'm imagining sort of like a Scandinavian fishing village. So I'll say nuzzled in nearby mountains is the snowy people friendly. Slow. And I want to describe the buildings. Short buildings, tall, slanted roofs. People are friendly. Life is slow. It's a good start. It's a good, calm start. I'm trying to give that town in Hot Fuzz. If anyone's seen Hot Fuzz. Just that nice, serene, ideal looking town. Should we include like massive walls? No. It's better if the town is undefended because Mayor Clancy is super corrupt. Alright. I don't want to put much in the town because I don't want to distract the players. When it comes to writing a one-shot, you can't have much sandboxing. Like, you can't give players too many options when you're running a one-shot for them. If I was running a campaign, I'd want to include like a blacksmith, a bar, a tavern, a church, a temple. I'd want to include the whole 9. But since it's a one-shot, I need to keep everything focused. I need to make sure everything here is only in service of driving that narrative forward. So I think the closest thing to a tavern is going to be like a haberdashery, like a fishing haberdashery. I'm thinking the haberdashery from the Hateful Eight. And then there's Mayor Clancy, who is corrupt. Corrupt man. He's working for the birds. The birds work for the bourgeoisie. Oh my gosh. And then I want to have a point where we talk about the flock attacking. That's something I want to include. That's probably going to be like a pre-written text. I don't know if I would include the bird cult, though. I feel like the bird cult... Well, I think people would pray to the birds. I don't know. When I think of a bird cult, I'm thinking they're going to, like, capture people and offer them to the birds. I think they just pray to the birds. Life is slow. Occasionally... will make reference. The cult is better for a longer campaign. I think having like there would be like there's an active cult. I think an active cult would be. I'm making a video about this. I'm making a video about like cults and warlock patrons in D&D and stuff. Having an active cult that has like daggers in their cloaks and human sacrifices, that I would include in a longer term campaign. But I think the culture in this town is just centered around the fact that birds capture people every week. So maybe it's like occasionally people will make reference to the birds as one would reference God in passing, like, thank God, thank the birds, like, God help me. Birds help me. That kind of stuff. That's just part of the culture. Haberdashery. Oh, I want to call it. Oh no. How to spell haberdashery. Google will let me know how to spell it. The haberdashery is going to be called the Bait and Switch, since it's a fishing village. So calling it the Bait and Switch, I feel like it's cute. I'm working on an adventure with a casino run by a dragon, with like alcohol and stuff. It's called the Tipsy Scale. That's one of my favorite things I've ever named. I got the bait and switch. And the bait and switch is this. This cozy establishment. I'm gonna look up images of the haberdashery from the Hateful Eight, because that's where I'm getting the inspiration from. Like this. Yeah. So I'm thinking that description, like this cozy wooden cabin. Yeah, something like this. It's not a bar. Like, it's not like you don't get here to get like shit-faced. It's just like a cozy little place where you can like kick your feet up by a fire, eat some stew, you know. Maybe buy a peppermint stick, you know. I'm just gonna wait. Why do I have haberdashery in parentheses? I'll just call it the bait and switch haberdashery. This cozy wooden cabin is if I could just type, just say the words. This cozy wooden cabin is an establishment run for locals and travelers alike. Sure. It has tables, comfy chairs by the fire, and consistent hot meals. That's important. Hot meals 3 times a day. There we go. That's exactly what we're going for. I'm trying to paint a word picture here. What if I get ChatGPT to do this? No, that's cheating. I don't want to cheat. And also, I don't want you guys to see what I do on ChatGPT. Because I do some weird shit on ChatGPT. Consistently hot meals. Consistent and hot meals 3 times a day. Adventurers can come here to relax and have a good chat with the locals. Mayor Clancy will say, we'll just put like notable NPCs. Underline it. And I should also underline the bait and switch. I should probably include something like Rosdorf is home to many residential cabins, fishing huts, and Oxford comma. Gotta get rid of it. Larger cabin on hill is home to many plants. A part of me kind of wants to write all of this out into like screenplay format. I wonder, would that be confusing if I put this in like all caps? Mayor. Let's see. I feel like this is a pretty easy one. I feel like this is a pretty easy module to follow so far. Like so far, this is I can follow this. I mean, to be fair, we have like 3 paragraphs. This is pretty easy to follow. And how friendly travel to locals is a better word for it. Notable NPCs. Let's see. We'll say male. How old? How old do we want Mayor Clancy to be? We'll say 42. Male 42. What's our description of Mayor Clancy gonna be? I'm looking at Clancy, the actual person who we're basing this off of, and your YouTube profile picture is the caterpillar from Bug's Life, so I think I'm just going to base my description of Mayor Clancy off of that, and it's going to be a red, what's a good word for it? What's a good word for, like, bigger, like, physically bigger? I'd say a jolly, red-cheeked man with a clean, shaved face. Clean shaved face. Clean shaved face. And what's his hair looking like? What do you imagine the hair of a mayor would be? We'll say balding. Clean shaved face and balding. Do I want to make red hair? Do I want to make this guy? Let's say balding red hair. I'm gonna put Mayor Clancy in italics. Male, 42 years old. I'm gonna make him a little older if he's balding. Make him like 49. Okay. How would Mayor Clancy be corrupt? We'll say Mayor Clancy. Describe Mayor Clancy. We're going to repeat his name. He is in agreement with the birds. In exchange for sparing him, he prevents the townspeople from developing defenses against the birds. As much, I feel like I don't know if I want to write a specific NPC for like who runs the haberdashery. I guess that would only make sense. Who runs the haberdashery? I'm gonna come back to it. I don't really feel like it's really important. Okay, we'll do the flock now. Let me get rid of this. Attack of the birds. Hell yeah. Birds. We're gonna Google image this to help us with our descriptions. Okay. We should look up videos. I don't want videos. Whoa. That, oh. That is exactly what we're going for. Oh, wow. How would you even describe that, like, verbally? That's a great shot. Oh my gosh. Like how in the title, in parentheses, 7 tons of bird poo. Real optimists, BBC Earth. Witnessing this glorious feat of nature. They're thinking, oh man, I have to clean this shit up. I mean, you're not wrong. Oh wow, it's really pouring out there. Okay. I'm gonna chat GPT this. Because I genuinely don't know how I would describe such a flock. I just genuinely can't find the words to describe what such a massive flock of birds would look like. So I'm going to say, describe what a flock of 100,000 birds would look like. Well, it's a flock of birds flying a flock of 100,000 synchronized. So it'd be a swarm. I think it's a better. A swarm of 100,000 birds flying synchronistically. Is that a word? Synchronistically? There's no red thing underneath. Fluttering, shuddering big ball of fucking birds barrel edge. Oh my god, Lucas, I'm naming an NPC after you. Lucas, you are now the person in charge of the haberdashery. Owned by Lucas. Lucas, you are now in charge of the haberdashery. That's so good. Shakespeare made up the words for I can't wait. Exactly. Alright, we'll see what ChatGPT comes up with. Murmuration? Is that what it's called? Rippling. That's a good word to describe. Nico, guess which account this belongs to? Clancy is... Wait, do I know you? I don't think you've ever saw me under this username. I don't know a Lucas. Is this Clancy's alt account? Whose alt account is this? Not the name. Kyle? Oh my god, Kyle. Oh my god, Kyle. What are you doing here? Kyle, why is your username Lucas? Well, Kyle, I think I'll combine Lucas and Kyle into a name that sounds fantasy. If I do like Lukai. Okay, that doesn't... I understand that you changed your username at some point, but that doesn't explain why you went under the name of Lucas. This is all that's the kind I use for YouTube. What made you... Answer the question! What made you decide I want to go by the name Luke? Wait, if you combine the name Luke and Kyle, you get Lucille. Oh, your name's Lucille now. Luke Skywalker. Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Legit, it was for a club banquet. Yeah, you're Lucille. Because if you take the name Lucas and you take the name Kyle and you put them together, you get Lucille. I'll make the rules. And that makes sense because it's the bait and switch haberdashery. And I got baited and switched by you changing your fucking username. Owned by Lucille. Okay, we'll come back to Lucille. We'll describe Lucille in more detail later. Right now we have to describe the shuddering, fluttering, big fucking barrel of birds. Okay. Let's see. What is ChatGPT's? Hypnotic. Fluid dynamic. Is murmuration the word for it? What does the word murmuration mean? A flock of starlings. What's a starling? These guys. Are starlings related to swallows? Because we were supposed to... The prompt was when swallows fly low. I don't know if that's applicable. We'll say a rippling formation of... I just want to say birds. We'll say avian creatures. Expanding and contracting, twisting and turning. It's almost writhing. Like, I know it's rippling. Is rippling the right word for it? I mean, have you seen the patterns? I know that if you look at it up close, but when you look at it from far away, is there a way to look at it from far away? It does kind of ripple, like the way it gets like it gets like darker and lighter as it goes. I'll find a different word for it. You're right, but I'll find a different word for it. But for now, that's what we're going for. A something formation of creatures. Undulating. Undulating. That's a great word. Remarkable synchrony. If they're bound by an invisible force that guides their every motion, they can shift from a tightly packed formation to a more dispersed one in an instant, while maintaining the overall cohesion of the group. I don't know. What's like a threatening word? Undulating. An undulating of alien creatures begins its descent towards this a quiet village. I'm going with shuffling, but not enough intent is in that word. Shuffling. Oh, me and you have very different idea of shuffling. The sky would be alive with movement. I like that. The sky. Hundreds of thousands of birds. Expand and contract. Shuffling gives me feeling, sound, and imagery for me. Shuffling, I would describe like a horde of zombies, like small, tiny steps. I want this to be more fluid to be described as like a fluid, like almost like a storm. This malicious fluid wave that undulates towards the town. The sky becomes alive with movement as an undulating formation of avian creatures begins its descent towards this quiet village. Hundreds of thousands of birds expand and contract as if an invisible force binds their motion. Flutter. Flood or surge. Ooh. Gives noise and imagery. I like surge. Well, like it'll start with surge, and then once the birds actually go into the town, it'll be described as a flood, as if to like every single crack of the town, every crevice has a bird. A torrent. No, a torrent absolutely fits. Like a torrent fits perfectly fine here. Zoom a little closer on the text so you guys can read it easier. Loose ends. I need to learn how to spell. Shuffling flutter. What are the words you use earlier? Oh, I can't find it. Torrent descends. Because the birds are described as fluid, dynamic, and almost hypnotic. So it's almost like a literal flood, except instead it's like a flood of birds. Flood of birds. Let me see. Trying to make this all poetic and shit. I just need to get it done. The torrent descends, turning the streets into a fluttering, hypnotic displays into a fluttering, binds their motion, reaches begins his descent towards this quiet village. Hundreds of thousands of birds expand and contract as if an invisible force finds their motion in a fluttering display. The torrent descends, turning the streets into a winged cacophony. Maybe that hypnotizing display can be turned into like an actual game mechanic. Like, what if the fluttering display was like like a hypnotic pattern? That's what I was thinking of. A hypnotic pattern fluttering display. We just got smacked with an earthquake too. Where? Where was the earthquake? I didn't feel an earthquake. Someone really pissed off the gods? Yeah, we've been pissing off the gods, Kyle. We're always pissing off the gods. Where was the earthquake? Now I want to know. You know what? This reminds me of in the Magnus Archives, the swarm, like the infestation, the fear entity. That's just the fear of infestation. This is what it kind of reminds me of. I'm trying to get another bucket. Okay, back to writing. Sorry that I dropped something. This is the description we have. This is the inciting incident. So this is really important. It's really important that we get this good. I'll do my cool. I'll do like a cool voice. Let me get some water. Cool voice time. The sky becomes alive with movement as an undulating formation of avian creatures begins its descent towards this quiet village. Hundreds of thousands of birds expand and contract as if an invisible force binds their motion in a fluttering display. The torrent descends, turning the street into a winged cacophony. The villagers run for safety as the murmuration envelops the town. In a moment within the chaos, you see a person running for safety. Their movement is slowed by the birds covering their entire form. The birds surrounding this person and ascend into the air. The person they envelop now departed from the ground. All the birds pick a guy up. They pick him up and go wee. They go bye bye. No more guy. Now depart from the ground. We're opening a Diet Coke. It's almost ready. Oh man, I'm so addicted. I'm genuinely addicted to Diet Coke. It's not funny. This is not humorous. This is a cry for help. What's next? We'll do after the attack. Once. Whatever it is, I like. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much, Ryan. I'm supposed to write an adventure about birds, and so I'm making birds kidnap people. Probably make the destruction of the birds leaving. Soon after, the birds are gone. As quickly as they arrive. Okay, the swarm is gone as quickly as they arrive. Swarm is gone as quickly as it. Well, the people from the flee from the birds. The question is, will the people flee from the birds before they realize what the birds are saving them from? Oh, Ryan, you missed last stream. Well, the birds are working for the bourgeoisie. The birds are, well, the bourgeoisie is working for the birds, really. The birds, every week, the birds swoop in and kidnap 5 random people in the town. Oh, you were there at the last stream? Okay, so you know the dealio. You know that the birds are kidnapping people to feed our storm giant friend, which I think I want to name him Rook. Rook, the storm giant. But that would be kind of funny to. The birds are actually rescuing you. That's why they're picking you up into the air and feeding you to a massive storm giant. What do the villagers know? The villagers know birds come and go from the same mountain, but any that have tried to pass through the mountains have ne'er returned. I think we should bring back contracting never as ne'er. They know the bird, or the swarm. Well, it's just, I don't want to call it the birds, it's the swarm. The swarm come and go from the same mountain. Comes and goes, I guess. The swarm comes and goes from the same mountain, but any that have tried That's comprehensive, right? You can comprehend that sentence. Well, that's pretty much the whole inciting incident that we need. Oh, let's describe the owner of the haberdashery, Lucille. Lucille owns the haberdashery. Owned by Lucille. We need like an NPC. This NPC is so unimportant. I think we want to make the town likable. We want people to like the town, and Lucille is kind of the representative for the town. So, what do we think the town is like? I think owned by Lucille, a probably practical, but compassionate. Practical. Yeah, compassionate. Practically a compassionate person who enjoys filling bellies and keeping her place from being such a mess. Again, based off of the haberdashery from Hateful Eight. Gonna pop the Pocky. I got the strawberry Pocky. You can't really. Oh, can you? Yeah. That's good stuff. That's pretty much everything we need. We got the starting town, we got the exciting incident. Now all we need to do is begin mountains. I'm just gonna add bits of screenplay stuff in here because I think it's cute. I would never use Google Docs to write a screenplay. I want to make sure that's clear. If you're writing a screenplay, do not use Google Docs. Find a free screenwriting program. Like, you don't have to buy Final Draft or anything, but find a program meant for screenwriting. Do not use Google Docs if you want to write a screenplay. Unless it's for like a school project. Like if you're making a video for your history class about the Revolutionary War, then like you don't really need to write a professional screenplay for it. But if it's something you want to be like taken seriously, then do not use Google Docs. It's worth it. Makes your life easier. Sorry. I'm enamored by the rain. It's so alien to me. Rain never happens here. Still folded. Okay. Now time for the mountains. So the mountain range is frigid and rocky, dotted with many lakes and streams. You know what we need to do? We need to make a stat block for the swarm. I totally forgot about that. Is there a way I can make a stat block on here? Is there like a 5e stat block generator? Is that a thing? There we go. That's perfect. Alright, this is going to be a gargantuan swarm of birds. Unaligned. Hit dice. 30. Armor type. Natural armor. What does a normal swarm look like? Birds. Swarm of ravens. Fine. What CR is this for? There's gotta be a high CR. Because this is a medium swarm of tiding beast. This is a gargantuan. Gargantuan, how large is gargantuan? Huge would be twice, large would be 3 times. Gargantuan would be 4 times, so we're looking for something 4 times the size of this. Take everything multiplied by 4. This is what we're trying to create. Big swarm of ravens. We'll just transfer the stats. You know what? I think you should do an individual stat block for each and every bird. That seems fair. You know what? Yes. That is so very fair. Thank you so much, Kyle. You know what? I'll do that, but for now, let's come up with a swarm stat block, and we'll just come back to it. We'll come back to it. I don't want to do 30 hit dice, though. I'll do 24 hit dice. That'll be nice. 6 strength, 14 dex. 14 dex con. 8 intelligence 3. Wisdom 12. Charisma 6. Okay. Oh, I should probably calculate what the actual CR of this creature would be. I would go more for the size of the birds than the HP. This is gargantuan, right? Yeah. Well, since it's gargantuan, the normal stat block, the hit dice is 7. It's 7 hit dice. And that's for a medium swarm. So if a medium swarm, 7 times 4, that'd be 28. Not 24. Hit dice would be 28. What's your armor class? Armor class is just plus dex. What's the party comp we're looking for in a fight? We don't know what the party comp is going to be. This is an adventure that let's say 4 level 4s. We're going to go with like level 5s because they're also going to be fighting a, what do you call it? They're going to be fighting a storm giant solo. So I think level 5 would be appropriate. Party level 5s. So we'll say 4 level 5s. But we want this to be like a challenge for them, because this is just like a roadblock along the way. Have you seen Storm Giant stats? I have. It is about challenge rating 13. Nope, not 4E. Oh, dang it. Not 4E. Storm Giant 5E right here. This is what the Storm Giant is. Are you sure about that? No, I'm not sure about it at all. Let's see, how much damage are we doing? Wow, that is a lot of damage. We might want to make this higher level. What if we did like 5 level 8s? Would level 8 be better? I feel comfortable with a level 8 party. I feel like a level 8 party could take on the Storm Giant. This book has a complete save. I'd want to do whatever level you don't get teleport at, because they're gonna have to. They're going through wilderness travel. think level 8 would be appropriate. I'm gonna make him proficient with dex saves. And also constitution saves. Because I can. Damage resistances, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, and what else is one of it is? Immune to charm, frightened, grapple, paralyzed, petrified. Charmed. Oh! Oh no, I closed the tab! Does it remember? No! No. I have to restart. Like, storm giants are the strongest giants. Yeah, but action economy. I think the storm giant is going to be at a heavy disadvantage. It makes sense. They have control weather. They could make it rain once a day. That's crazy. They have a lightning recharge ability. In the adventure, when you first fight the enemy, you are kind of supposed to lose, and then you discover the way to defeat him, and then you're able to win. So I think the Storm Giant being incredibly difficult to kill. Wait, hold on. Let's see ours in Arcanoloth. CR 12? Okay. So an Arcanoloth is 1 CR below a Storm Giant. And the party that I was with, we were able to take down an Arcanoloth at around level 7. With slight difficulty. Level 8s typically have around 50 to 60 health. 50 to 60 health with healing and 8th level character abilities, and also the Storm Giant will only be able to attack twice. You'd be on average 2-shotting them. 2-shotting them on average. How difficult do you think it's going to be for some level 8s to hit an armor class of 16 and do 230 hit points? I think level 8s could very easily take on the Storm Giant. And even so, the fight is supposed to be difficult. The fight with the Storm Giant is supposed to drain your resources. It is a boss battle. It is the climax of the adventure. Going Noah on this Storm Giant and still having a difficult time would make sense. And that would be 2-shotting the typical level 8 character. What would a typical level 8 tank be? That'd be like, what, 8 times... 8 times 5 plus Constitution? We're never getting clerics, never getting just healing in general. And also these are level 8, so they probably have some kind of magic items on them. I'm in a level 7 party right now, and I already feel like we're really overpowered. I feel like we could probably take on this Storm Giant. I think it'll be fine. As a boss battle? As a solo boss battle? I think it'll be fine. I'll make it so that the map is weighted in the player's favor. Like, I'll include lots of holes and shit that they can hide it and stuff like that. But for now, I want to focus on the flock. Hit those 28. I'm just gonna copy over the Raven stat block. They have like, if they have a tank and you half play the giant, I feel like it can work. And even if they lose, the giant is just going to take them prisoner. They escape. There's like somewhere in the dungeon that allows them to like weaken the giant. They can get through it, yeah. And then when they attack him again, they'll have a long rest in captivity, so they'll have all their abilities back, and the giant will be at another disadvantage because he'll be blinded. You can up the health if they start chewing through it too fast. Yeah, you just gotta be a dungeon master. Hopefully, this adventure can be used by people. People who are not me. What's the charisma of a swarm of birds? How charismatic is a swarm of birds, guys? I'll keep the mental stats, but I feel like the physical stats of a bird would be changed just a little bit. I'm going to make the con 12, and I'm going to make the strength a 10, and I'll make the dex. Something fun you can do is levitate their melee to scare them. That is also something funny that I could do. I was thinking if there's something I could do with that levitate on levitate at will. I wonder if there's something fun I could do with that will levitating. I don't know. I'll come back to it. Dex. Dex will just say 20. This is massive flock of birds. Fuck it. That I mean. And I'm just gonna guesstimate and say their challenge rating 8. Skills. Perception. Saving throws. We'll say dex saving throws. Because they're so like well coordinated. They're so proficient with dex saves. Condition immunities. So many condition immunities. You would not believe how many condition immunities. They are charmed. They are immune to being frightened. You can't scare these birds. That doesn't make sense. You can scare birds. Screw that. You could totally scare a flock of birds. That is so dumb. Petrified, prone, restrained, stunned. No, you could totally scare off a flock of birds. Have you ever been to the park? Maybe it's too hard to frighten all of them at once. I disagree. I simply disagree. Swarm. Bada. We got some abilities. It is not a legendary creature. Name. Swarm. Yeah, can you scare a gargantuan-sized flock of birds, Nico? Yes, I can. I just make one loud noise, and they're scared. They'd be on you so fast. I guess it depends on the bird. I'm gonna backtrack. I'm gonna say it depends on the bird. But yeah, wings, motherfucker. Okay. How do I save stat block, one stat block? That's not what I wanted. Update stat block. We should probably do more to hit more damage. Oh, CR 13 can handle party level 15s, huh? Okay, in a regular encounter, yeah. Like a CR 13 versus a party at level 15, that would be like a fair and even balanced fight. I don't want to be fair, balanced, and even. I want it to be hard and brutal. How much damage do we want to do? How much damage should this guy do? Let's see. I wish I just had the Dungeon Master's Guide just on me. On D&D Beyond. Do I have it on D&D Beyond? Just tell me I have it on D&D Beyond. Please. No! Let's see. These are some level 8s. How many hit points would a level 8 person have? How about, instead of 2d6 piercing damage, we would do like... Math is hard. We'll do 4d6. We'll just double it. It's fine. With con. Let's see. D8 plus 1. I feel like 5. I think this works. I'm just doubling the damage. I think that works. I think this works. Amping damage no longer goes in the fight as more birds start to swarm in. I think that's a different encounter. That should be a different encounter, where that's like the gimmick of the encounter. This is a different encounter. But I do like that idea of the swarm overwhelming you so much it does more damage to you. Okay. Ugh. The birds, armor class 15, hit points 154. I feel like the speed should be a little more. 50-foot fly speed. Gargantuan, though. I'm going to say 70-foot fly speed. And then like a 30-foot movement speed. All right. 70 is scary, I like it. I know, it's like a weird, odd number. That also means it's 140 feet dash. Which seems fast, but I feel like that's achievable for a ridiculous amount of player characters. As the player characters are taking a rest by a deep pond, the dark cloud of birds begins its approach towards the party. If the player characters submerge themselves in the pond, the birds will not attack. If the player characters run or stand their ground, roll for initiative. Initiative. The flock, or we'll say the swarm, birds will fight until they lose around maybe more health for the birds. I feel like 150 works. I'll boost the con. We'll say con is 14. That's 180. How does 180 sound to you, Kyle? Where's the tilde? There's the tilde. If their max HP is 180, then maybe 180 divided by 3 is 6. So around, when they lose around 60 hit points, once they take that amount of damage, the birds will take flight and retreat from the combat. There. My Diet Coke has gone room temperature. If the player characters go into the pond, they each must make a DC. What was the DC? I wrote it down already. 13 Constitution check. It's a the pond is a mimic. That is dirt nasty. Oh my gosh, that's fair. Do the Constitution check on a failed check. They take 1 level of exhaustion. I'm just gonna wait for Cal's reaction to taking the level of exhaustion. Are we cool with that? Are we cool with exhaustion? It's hypothermia. Come on, guys. Make fire. Kyle wants blood. I'm more fair and balanced. I guess I'm just a softie. Okay. After one encounter, and then there's a second encounter along the way, which is Boulder Hill. Make up a condition instead of exhaustion. I don't know what condition I should do. And this is 1 level exhaustion. I don't think is too bad. Because it's just disadvantage on skill checks. Like, it's not saving throws. It's not attack rolls or anything like that. I feel like freezing exhaustion into the game. If you could let me know what to Google to replace exhaustion with, I will check it out. But for now, I'm going to go with exhaustion just because I want to... This is the part of the adventure where we're whittling down the players and stuff. We're taking we're sapping them. We're sapping away their abilities. It should be similar to the other cold effects. It could be like other cold effects, like Ray of Frost lowers your movement speed. There's that. I like 1 level of exhaustion because it's just like a small debuff on you. It's just disadvantage on skill checks. It's a very small debuff that can get in the way a lot, and that's just for people who fail to check. I think DC 13, they will most likely succeed the check. So just for some player characters, they're going to have a little bit of a rougher time. I don't feel like it's that bad. Okay, Boulder Hill. Yeah, it's just 1 level of exhaustion. What have I been telling you? I'm never wrong. I've never been wrong in my entire life. Never once. That's how hypothermia is treated. I mean, really, what's the difference between hypothermia and exhaustion? It's like it's your body exerting energy to not die. That's literally all that hypothermia is, and I've never been wrong before. But you could treat it with a medicine check, though. I'd say with a medicine check and a short rest. We'll say a DC 10 medicine check over a short rest. Next up is Boulder Hill. I'm really excited for Boulder Hill. Because as the party begins to ascend towards the mountain range, and rolling makes them feel good. Yeah. And also, if they can't make that medicine check, then they're just with that. They have to carry that point of exhaustion. Like, they've rested, they've tried, they keep on trying. You're stuck with that exhaustion. A giant boulder onto the field and rolls down. They must push it. But there's a twist you see, which is no, this Boulder Hill is much more sinister than Sisyphus's boulder. One must imagine the dragon happy. As the party begins to ascend towards the mountain range, one bird for each player character begins to watch the party as they travel. I also forgot I need to include the stat block for the birds. We should come up with a cool name for them. Should be like the we'll just call it the flock. Whatever, I'm not feeling creative right now. I'm sure I'll think of something cooler later. Sigan birds? Is it like Stygian bird, but with less spelling? We're just doing the flock for now. Oh, that's too big. Oh, it's everyone's favorite minigame. It's time to add an image to text. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to zoom out for this. Why? Let's make this smaller. That's good. That's perfect. That's literally perfect. That is incredible. I deserve an award for that. That is such a... That is glorious. I'm a god. Okay. As the party ascends towards the mountain range, how many rests are you going to give them? However many they want to take. Honestly, it doesn't matter how many rests they get. I mean, it's travel. When they're in the wilderness, they get to kind of go at their own pace, and they can kind of rest whenever they feel like it. I mean, I guess you can throw the birds at them whenever you feel like it, because the birds can kind of just swoop in, do their thing, swoop out. I'm the dungeon master defeating. Yeah, I don't know. I as many rests as they're willing to risk encounters with the birds. That's as many rests. It's more like how many rests they're willing to allow themselves. I know that sounds very pretentious, but yeah. I say 1 to 2, 1 or 2 rests right now for them. Maybe it's like every time they rest, you roll a d6, and off 5 or 6, the birds come. Otherwise, spellcaster spam. Because the way I see it, the way I see the adventure is you have town, wilderness, dungeon. And town is safe, wilderness is sort of neutral, chaotic territory, and then the dungeon is the enemy stronghold. The dungeon is always dangerous. You are always in danger when you're in the dungeon. When you're in the wilderness, it is neutral territory. Anything can happen in the wilderness. In the town, you are always going to be safe, unless like there's like a urban encounter or like adventures happening within the town. Safe zone, neutral area, dungeon. Dungeon, I don't allow any rests, because like if I was robbing a bank and I took a nap in the middle of robbing the bank, I would immediately be arrested and killed. Just within those 8 hours of at some point, you know, there is no rest when you're in enemy territory. Wilderness, though, that's neutral territory. Anything can happen in the wilderness. But I think the only thing that is causing them danger right now is the birds. So rolling for birds whenever there's a rest, I feel like that's a reasonable thing to do. Boulder Hill, the birds are starting to watch the party as they travel. As the party gets closer to the nearby mountain, a large boulder hurls towards one of them. And this is just the boulder from the Storm Giant stat block. Right here. Yeah, a rock. 60, 240 feet. I'm gonna say hurls towards the person in front of the party. We'll say the player character at the front of the party. Boulder, we'll say, is DC. We're going to make it a deck save because the giant, this is out of the range of the giant. So I'm going to make it a low DC, like, check to avoid. We'll say 24. What's 24? 24 divided by 3 is 8. Plus 5. 13. 13 is too low. DC 15? We can make it DC 15. It's DC 17 right here. But also it's a lot of damage. I don't know how many times this boulder's going to come barreling at him. What's 24 minus 15? It's 9. I don't know. What should the DC be? What's like DC 14? DC 14. Dexterity. Saving throw. And then I'm going to close out of this tab here. 4d12 plus 9. We'll just make it 4d12 flat. What's the average of 4d12? What's 35 minus 9? 26. 26. Which is pretty brutal. Oh god. Oh good, he's still alive. Are you referring to the tropical storm? I'm still alive. We're still living. Hillary hasn't gotten me yet. The storm or the person. I'm doing great. I got my Pocky. I'm doing wonderful. I don't think the storm is going to be at all deadly. It's just like a year's worth of rain in one go. I don't know how devastating it is per se. I mean, my internet's great so far. But apparently there was also an earthquake nearby. I didn't feel it at all. Half as much on a successful. Bludgeoning damage on a failed save. Half as much on a success. We'll just put it in italics. Cuts out as soon as everything. Yeah, everything's great. Stream just goes black. Also, we haven't been hit by the storm yet, Nico. It's raining. It's going pretty hard. Maybe not like the storm with the capital S. That's the love tap. Yeah, we're being love tapped right now. And I'm streaming to you, the people. And you're so welcome. You need to be more grateful. don't know why I'm typing this in italics. The storm has hit San Diego. Weird. Yeah, I'm still using it for clickbait though. It's raining, okay? Rain means storm. Rain equals storm. California. That's the encounter. As the party begins to ascend towards the mountain range, one bird for each player character begins to watch the party as they travel. As the party gets closer to the nearby mountain, a large boulder hurls towards the player character at the front of the party. Delivers a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, 26 4d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, half as much on a success. These boulders are being thrown by Rook the Giant from thousands of feet away, seeing through the eyes of his birds to calculate trajectory. If the party kills all nearby birds, the boulders become too inaccurate to cause a direct hit. Once a bird is killed, it will be replaced in 1 minute. And that's the encounter that we're doing. Yeah, so you just gotta kill the birds. And this is supposed to hint, this is supposed to tease that there is indeed a storm giant coming to eat up all the party. Have fun at work. My sister still has to go to work. It was so good. I hope he's okay. Sorry about that. Alright. Finally, interior. We're at the dungeon. Sanctum. We'll say Storm Sanctum. Now, I do not have an actual map for this. I feel like I should draw a map for this stuff. Because it's the aviary. And there's like the little prison. Let's do like a quick sketch of what we want this to look like. So we want like an entrance, so like right here, like where the steps lead up. We want this big enough for like a giant. Kind of go through approach to the interior. Then what do we do? Now we want like a big ass chamber for the giant. This is really big. And then like an aviary. So aviary, and then we need a little prison area. So right here. The giant can enter the aviary through here. And then also entrance of the apiary here. Something like that. Do I want to map this? Do I really want to map this? Is it so important that this is mapped? You know? Like, what if I do, like, the new kind of D&D, where we don't have to map anything? These are hard. Like, I can picture it so well in my mind what I want the sanctum to be like, but I can't think of like what it would actually physically look like. What do we know we want to include? What do we know we want to include? We need the subterranean aviary. Stop. No, bold. No, be bold. Subterranean aviary. That's where all the birds go to poop and like hang out and chill and like with their nests and stuff. And then an ogre daycare. This building, or this room, will just be where the storm giant keeps his like children, which are a bunch of ogres that are all like, they're like ogre sized, but they have like the minds of a toddler. The frost chambers. This is where the giant freezes his victims to preserve them and eat them later. And then I feel like there should be like a sanctum, you know, where the like the personal chambers for the giant. Oh, there's still a bunch of stuff in that. I thought it was empty. Trolls? Hmm. Let me see something real quick. Let's use Encounter Builder to see what would make a better encounter. Trolls or ogres? That's a good question. Let's see. Lesser giants would be a fit. Yeah, I would like to include something that's giant, like similar to being a giant, but not exactly a giant. I do like pets. Maybe, no, the birds are already pets. He's already got so many birds. How many ogres does Yoon Beyonce a level 8 party can take? Around 4 to 6 before it gets hard. How many trolls? Two to 3 trolls. I think I'm gonna stick with ogre because I want there to be a bunch of ogres. I want there to be like 4 or 5 ogres. We're gonna do 5 ogres. And they're just like big, dumb babies. They're just toddlers and blah 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 blah. Sanctum for the giant. What else is there? I don't know. I mean, it is a one-shot, so having a small dungeon does work. I kind of want to grab like a notebook really quick and sketch this out in a notebook, because that's how I normally do D&D. Like, that's how I normally prep my stuff. But the problem is you guys wouldn't be able to see it, and it would make for a really bad stream to just watch me scribbling in a book. What would be something that I could do? Let's see. Back to Dungeon Scroll. I guess I could use Photoshop. I haven't used Photoshop in so long. Let's pull up Photoshop, why don't we? And then I will doing stuff on Premiere right now. Not Premiere, fucking OBS, so you can see. Screen capture. Method, window, or application capture. There we go. Photoshop. Oh. Oh. Here it is. So now we must sketch out the dungeon. Let's see. Add another layer. It's gonna be like. You guys see all that? I just start drawing. Okay, that's cool. Let's make this a little smaller. We have like the entrance, and it's gonna be like curved stairs that go upwards. They should be like massive stairs, actually. Should be like massive, rough, uneven stairs. That's too big, actually. We just need rooms. We just need rooms. We gotta sketch out the rooms. Let's say sanctum right here. And then it branches out from there. This is where the storm giant is going to be. So they're going to come in and immediately be greeted with storm giant. So we need the room to be kind of cool. Then we're going to have this. And then this is where we have the ice box. This is where people are frozen. Ice. And then... No, hold on. I want to do my... more space. I just want the rough layout right now. Yeah, this circle right here is gonna be the aviary. Oh, if the aviary's above. No, I shouldn't be introducing verticality to this. Oh, but you guys do need to actually see what I'm drawing. Ogre daycare. We need ogre daycare and food. So the birds come in. This is where the birds are. Bird. Bird. And then... What is after bird? Sunnier? Thought I was getting a little sunnier for a sec. I'm schizo. Birds are here. And then I think in between bird and the giant that's right here should be right here. This is the ogres. And then here it will be the food place. I mean, for them it's the food place. But for us, it's a prison where people are kept frozen in a frozen chamber. This is the rough sketch. How well can you see this? You see this just alright. I genuinely don't know where to go from here. This is useful. How are they gonna enter? I think it's probably like a winding staircase. Maybe like it goes up, and then there's a chamber right here. So this goes from the outside, and then this goes inside. Uh-oh. And then this leads up to Giant Boy. And then Giant Boy is like, what are you doing in this swamp? And then there's a battle. And the players probably lose. Maybe here we include some information, like carvings or something, that show giants being able to control birds. Alright, let's label these. 1. Not in the room. This is room number 1. Room number 2. Room number 3. Room number 4. And room number 5. Ritual circle? That is going to be included in the aviary. So in the aviary is going to be like the stone, the runes, the carved runes that the giant uses to control the birds. And once the players are able to destroy that, then the giant is going to be weak and the giant's going to be vulnerable, and then that will allow the player characters to kill the giant. Which is why when they initially fight him in this room, in room 2, they're most likely going to lose. And then the giant's going to keep him prisoner right here in room 4. Players will either go here or they'll go here. The point is, once they get to the aviary, they would have seen in room 1 what the runes of bird control look like, and then they'll be able to destroy the runes, kill the giant. Everyone eats chocolate cake. But that means we have to include a description. And also, probably gotta draw a map, which is really unfortunate to do on desktop. It's really hard to make it look good without being like a professional map drawer. Oh. Ooh, we also need like what the runes look like. Ooh. We do like the king rune. And then the wind, so like king of the wind. Friend king wind is how we'll do it. You can do Fey or constructs. That, I think I'm good with what we have already. I think we're fine with that. But the runes here are going to be Ven, Kong, Vind. What does the original thing look like? Storm King. Okay. Let's take a quick look. Storm King's Thunder 5e tools. Because 5e tools will include all the runes. That's just a note for later. There we go. Here are the runes. So the 3 runes that we want to use is Friend, King, Wind. Because you are befriending the kings of the wind, and the kings of the wind are birds. Birds are the kings of the wind. And you are friending them. This makes sense to me. Get out of here. No. Why? Nothing's working. Copy this. Paste it. Make it small. Carved out of the mountain. On the walls of the hall are carvings depicting giants giving orders to flocks of birds, which destroy towns and lift people into the air. The giants wield the rune Ben Kong Vid. This up, maybe make it a little larger, include it within, break up the text. There we go. That's the first room. Second room. Sanctum. I can't think of a good description of this room. Like, I genuinely don't know how I would describe this. It's like a wide, what's sanctum? This room is a wide open stone chamber. I want to describe the villain really. Sitting atop a roughly carved throne is an overweight. Here, how did I describe it in the notes? An overweight blind stone giant. He does talk like a Reddit moderator, but I'm not going to include that in the visual text. Overweight blind storm giant. Overweight storm. We'll bold the text with wrappings around his eyes and a beard so unkempt. Birds are currently using it as nests. Let's say multiple birds. Birds flutter around the sanctum. Periodically. I think this room is a wide open stone chamber. D&D oh, okay. I was gonna read that message and he deleted it. Now I can't say it. This room is a wide open stone chamber. Birds flutter around the same. A wide open stone chamber with uneven stone flooring. How does the giant react? Should the giant be eating a person as the party enters? Is that like a good villain introduction? I kind of like that. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna just do it. What am I supposed to do when I ask my player to describe his character and he says a big silly man? Big silly man. I would ask further questions like, what is your big silly man wearing? What is your big silly man currently doing? What does their voice sound like? What's like, I wouldn't say equipment. What equipment do they have on them? But I'm assuming this big silly man is like a barbarian or a fighter, because that's normally like the big silly man class. And that's tough because it's really hard to come up with an interesting description for like a barbarian fighter, because I feel like you can kind of fill in the blanks of what that kind of character looks like. Oh, my phone is really low. Short answer, ask further questions. Develop, lead you. It's like you want to lead them to the development, you know? That's what I would do. Like, what do you think would help you visualize this character? Like, Big Silly Man obviously is not enough to fully visualize a character. So what does help? It's what clothing they're wearing is probably facial hair. What kind of hair do they have? Are they bald? Do they have long hair? Do they got braids? Do they got beard? You know, distinctive features, maybe. I think that's the easiest. Like that's a question that I would start out with. I sound like a police sketch artist. What distinctive features did they have? What kind of clothing were they wearing? Big Silly Man. Fucking, what race are they? Like, are they a half orc? Are they human? You know? I'd say ask further questions like their race, distinctive features, clothing, and clothing can also include equipment like armor and stuff. Pretty much what Nico and then yeah. Exactly. You can branch out from there. And you don't really need that much of a description. I mean, yeah, like D&D, it's all about describing things, but if you haven't put that much thought into your character and you just want to play a big hunky dude, then how much description do you really need? Just be a big hunky dude. Silly and branch out for the answer they gave. Yeah. I think them describing their characters like a big silly man, to me that communicates that like saying big silly man sounds like, oh, it's just like a guy. Yeah, like just a dude. Like not a character that has been thought out thoroughly, probably like more of a one-dimensional character. And if that's the case, if it is like a one-dimensional character, then I wouldn't put too much of importance on the character's description, because there's not much character there anyways, and it's probably best if you let that character be, let that player be more of an audience member to the campaign, where you have other people who are taking the game seriously. Of course, it means nothing if they don't want to. Exactly. Because I think when they say, like, I'm a big silly man, I don't think they want to describe their character just from that description. That it doesn't sound like they want to talk about their character. In that case, ask a little bit of those probing questions just so the players can get an idea of who they're playing. Just so the characters can get a visual, like a good mental image of who's with them. And then from there, let that character fade into the background, let that person experience D&D while the rest of the players are more active members of the story. Yeah. I mean, of course, I think that question would need some context. The who, why, where, yeah. The giant. Upon the player characters entering, the giant crushes a human body in his hands and is dropped down his throat. This giant eats people. Man-eating giant. What have I been live for? 2.5 hours. I think this is my longest solo live stream. I never solo live stream. It's so hard for me to solo live stream. This is the best solo live stream I've done, in my opinion. Okay. I want to get your guys' input on this. Streaming is very tiring. I have not had an energy drink. I haven't had a single sip of caffeine. I want your guys' input on this. I feel like this room is full of birds, and the giant can see through the eyes of the birds. I don't think the player character should be able... Oh, water check, thank you. I don't think the player character should be able to stealth past the giant. You are thinking of Odin. I mean, yeah, Norse with all... Yeah, sure, yeah. This is going to be like a combination of Odin and Kronos. But should the play, like, what should the DC for stealthing be? Because I think it should be high, since the room, he basically has like a 360 degree view of the room. The view he has of the room is like it's like fourth dimensional, because he has eyes all over the room. If the players are invisible, or if the characters are invisible, absolutely. We put warnings on stealth, but don't want rogue to... Exactly, because I don't want to remove the option of stealthing. Let's say the DC to stealth, the DC to go unnoticed. If player characters give high DCs, that only they can compete. Yeah, I'm gonna say if any player character wants to move past the giant unnoticed, they must succeed a, we'll say DC 25 stealth check. Give advantage of a little reward. I feel like if they have that knowledge, then they would be casting invisibility, or they would be finding a way around the birds. They wouldn't just be stealthing in without that knowledge. What should happen if the storm giant notices them? What is the personality of the storm giant? What are storm giants like? Close out of this tab. You should bump that to 30. Whew. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Let's read the Storm Giant Wiki and see. most intelligent, respected race of giants. I think this guy might be a bit of a paranoid kook. They always have expertise plus bonuses. That's what I'm saying. I think if you send in a rogue or a ranger who's good at stealth and you have them scout ahead, they'll be fine. But if the whole party's coming in, they're getting noticed. Biology, abilities, combat versus history, society, relationships, names, languages. Not a lot of personality. I think this storm giant is going to be kind of like the who goes there paranoid type. If they are noticed by the storm giant, they easily hit over 25. True. But I don't... Maybe pass without a trace, they'd be able to get over 30. Yeah. I think Ranger Rogue should be good going through all of this. But Paladins, probably not. If they're noticed by the Storm Giant. He will interrogate the party. He is very paranoid. And skittish. Paranoid and skittish. His speech. Well, we'll say speech is skittish. I think wiry. Paranoid and wiry. The speech is skittish and hard to follow. If the storm giant suspects the party is here to harm him, he will three times two. Yeah. Wait, then wouldn't that mean they would have to get a natural 20 in order to stealth through? If they have a plus 10 bonus and the DC's 30, wouldn't they have to get a natural 20? I feel like 25. I'm going to go back to 25. Because if plus 10 is the bonus, then I think rolling a 15 or higher is reasonable. And then you can cast Pass Without a Trace, but then you're spending a spell slot and you're, spending your resources and stuff. Forgetting something with rogues.
Ya sea un miércoles, fin de semana o el día de tu boda, una piel que se ve saludable se siente maravillosa. Eucerin Advanced Repair contiene más que cerámica.
Oh my gosh, I got jump scared by Spanish. Oh gosh. If the storm giant suspects the party's here to harm him or his birds, he will lob a rock at them and charge. Or he'll probably do his electrocution. He will blast them with a lightning charge, then attack with his sword. There's a sword, right? Great sword, yeah, it's a great sword. Now this is going to be a real Dark Souls, Elden Ring kind of fight. It's going to be rough. We'll say... Ooh, this is tough, actually. Storm Giant. Oh, it is already deadly. I don't know. I feel like a level 8 party against one Storm Giant. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. If anything, the DM is going to have to fudge some stuff. If the party loses to kill blow blades pretty easily if you play them all. Yeah, but it's also a solo boss. Like solo bosses will always get shit on consistently, no matter what. There is no universe where a solo boss isn't going to be screwed over by a party. You say they can handle a couple level 15s. I mean, it is like a D&D Beyond, according to D&D Beyond, it would be a deadly encounter. But I feel like I've thrown harder enemies at lower level parties and it turned out fine. Like, challenge rating might be a little hard to yeah. You can just very easily go wrong. That, I kind of want it to go wrong, though, because if the party loses to the Storm Giant, they will be taken to room... Which room was it? Room 4. Area 4, partially encased in ice, and long rested. Area 3 is the Ogre Daycare. Area 3... I'm just going to call it the Playroom. This stone carved room is lined with 5 large sleeping mats. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 5 ogres call this place their home. We'll say 5 ogres take residence here. If they I should probably say these ogres have the mental capacity and personality as rowdy toddlers. When they notice the player characters, they will wail at them. If the PCs do not leave, it and charge at the players. And charge at the party. Initiating combat. Lack of resistances, though, could make this easier. Storm Giant? Oh, for sure. But then, once the party defeats the, how you say, why'd the music stop? Oh, it was just another song starting. Once the party finds the runes, the bird control runes, then the giant will be blinded. And once the giant is blinded, like, no blind sense or anything like that, like physically cannot see, cannot attack anything, just wildly swinging and throwing shit around based off of whatever movement is there, then the combat's going to be a lot easier. And it'll be more of a triumph. These ogres are the adopted children of the giant in Area 2. Okay. Area 4. The Ice Chamber. Okay. This stone carved room is lined with ice. Life lesson: if you're ever captured by a giant, find cool magic writing to disable them. Especially if that giant has the magical powers of controlling birds. If you find a way to disable those birds, you will be birdless. And you will get the girl. Is lined with ice. With a thick layer of ice. English. What did I say was in the ice last time? Frozen into the wall. Partially embedded into the wall are the victims of the giant's swarm. Birds. Villagers. Animals. And casks of alcohol are all frozen into the ice wall lining the room. If the player characters, why'd I capitalize player characters? If the player characters find themselves defeated by the storm giant, they will wake up partially frozen into the ice. A DC 19 strength check is required to break from the ice. I feel like that's reasonable. DC 19. It's ice. It's hard. It's tough. It's cold. Cold ice. You know? All of the... How many victims? We'll say 5. We'll say 4. 4 villagers are still, we'll say commoners. This is 5th edition. Ice is cold, ice. I've never been wrong in my life. Never been wrong in my life. Do I say things of value? Have I ever been wrong? Was like DC 19 strength check is required to break free from the ice. To break yourself. The DC check to rip someone else out of the ice, I would say 16. Easy for the barb. Yeah, gives the barb something to do. DC 16 strength check to break someone else out of the ice. Period. Nothing else is in this room. Or if periodically the giant from area 2 will enter the chamber and pluck a meal from the wall of ice. Just in case they want to stay in the icebox for a little too long. They already got their long rest. Last room. Then we're done. Let's see. Yeah, this is the aviary. How tall do I want this to be? tall is like a skyscraper? How tall is like a 10-story skyscraper? $60 feet? Okay, we'll say 60-foot high. Or this room is a 60-foot tall stone carved cylinder with what is it? Perches? Like it's like holes inside. We'll say with a hive of tunnels and perches. No, not purchases. Perches that contain the collective. What do I call them? Birds. This is a very tall room. At the top of this cylinder is a stone. There's a rune carved stone containing the runes. Van Convind. These runes bind the birds to storm giant area 2, allowing him to give them commands and see through their eyes. Dropping the rune stone. It's called the rune stone. From the 60-foot height will cause it to shatter. And magic, rune magic, to dispel. If the rune stone is destroyed, the giant in area 2 will gain the blinded condition. Swinging wildly and inaccurately at any perceived threat. Okay. I feel like destroying the rune should be a bit of a challenge. What should the challenge for destroying the runes be? Maybe the stone is like as a rune carved stone containing. We'll say the rune stone is a 5-foot tall boulder embedded in the stone. It'll take a DC. No. I'm going to say DC 30 strength check to displace the boulder on a successful strength check. The boulder will roll down the cylinder. The boulder will roll down dropping the entire 60 foot drive, the entire 60 feet. There we go. On a failed check, the birds are alerted and attack the player characters. The birds are no longer hostile to any player character if the runestone is destroyed, comma. The birds no longer are hostile to any player characters. And the giant in area 2 will gain the blinded condition. Okay. I feel like that's the adventure. It's 5 pages. All I need to do is draw a map. And that's the adventure. Map, I don't really know what to do. The map, I think I want to come back to. The map, I think I'm going to record separately. I'm going to sketch that out in the book. And the adventure will just be like fully complete. Thank you very much for joining the live stream. You guys are so great to chill here and be cool and watch me live stream. Thank you very much. I love you all. Like and subscribe.